There are 4 reasons your law firm isn't closing 60 to 80% of qualified consultations into clients. You could have a sales system that you could depend on that will allow you to reinvest into marketing to continue to grow your law firm, remove yourself from the sales process, because at some point, if you're the owner and you're still running consults, you realize in order for you to grow, you can't do everything all the time. And you're going to get to a point where you've got to start choosing between, do I open more consult spots or do I do the legal work? And then you're eventually going to hit a point where you can no longer grow past that unless you want to work 24 hours a day. And even if you do work 24 hours a day, you still hit a capacity point because there are only 24 hours in a day. And you're going to have to decide, do I replace myself in consultations or do I replace myself in the legal work and exclusively run consultations all day long? For most law firms, it's I'm going to replace myself in consultations so I can do the legal work. And then eventually I'm going to replace myself in the legal work so I can focus on running the business and be the CEO of my law firm. Law firms struggle to get to that 60 to 80%, what we would call close rate or higher rate number. So that is a number we've now tested over hundreds of non-attorney and attorney salespeople and over 1,000 law firms and tens of thousands of initial consultations. And there are 4 reasons law firms struggle to get to that 60 to 80%, what we would call close rate or higher rate number. The first is that they're not using the 19-step script and structure. Now, when I say they're not, that means whoever's in the role of running initial consultations is not using the script and structure. That is the backbone and the foundation. And then whenever I ask whoever's in that role, are you using the script and the structure? Traditionally, all of them say, well, yeah, I'm using the script and the structure. But when I say using the script and the structure, that means you are taking the script and the structure that we know is proven that closes between 68%, not changing it whatsoever, not changing steps, words, details, not reordering the steps, not adding stuff, not removing stuff, no alterations to the script and the structure. That's step 1. If that's not happening, that is absolutely the starting point, is you have to make sure you're using the script and the structure in your initial consultations, because that script and structure creates consistency in the sales results. If we're not using the same script and structure on every consult every single time, why would we expect we're going to get consistent results? We're doing something different every single time. That doesn't breed consistency, that breeds inconsistency. So the second, arguably one of the largest swings in close rate you're going to have, is the ability to overcome objections. If we're not very strong in our ability to overcome objections, it could swing your close rate in any given week up to 30 to 40%. It could be the difference of your law firm generating 30% of your qualified consults into clients versus 70% of your qualified consults into clients. What do I mean by objection handling? Oh, I have to think about it. Oh, I have to speak to my wife. Oh, I don't have that type of money. Oh, I can't pay that today. Oh, I don't know if the timing's right. The objections. A prospect gives an objection. Now, whoever's in that sales role running consults, you now have to overcome objections. Many times our ability to overcome objections is sometimes skill related. And there's the actual tactical part of that. Let's call it 30 to 40%, maybe 50, is made up of actual skill-based, being able to say the right things, using the right tone, ask the right questions at the right time. That's tactical and that's skill-based. And that is a large part of your ability to overcome objections. Let's talk about the third. Energy. Your energy when you show up to an initial consultation. Does the prospect walk in, whether that's virtually or physically in office, and feel like they are just another number, another name on the calendar, just another person you've got to run the script with? Do they feel that? Because if they feel that, they're going to lose all confidence, not only in you, but in your firm, because this is the first representation they have to go off of about what their experience might look like in your law firm. And if it feels like you don't really want to be there, this is just another one on the calendar, then what do you think they think their experience is going to be? What do they think the legal process is going to look like? What do they think your client communication is going to look like? They're probably not that excited about it. And quite honestly, it's going to affect your close rate. On the flip side, if you show up from a place of, I'm going to deploy empathy for this person, I'm going to actively listen, engage, show up with a smile on my face, I'm here to help, that not only is your story real, it's happening and we're here for you, but we can help solve the problem that you're going through. If you're showing up from that place, that's an entirely different position. And that gives the utmost confidence to the prospect in your firm and your firm's ability to actually navigate and handle this complex to them. What might be complex or routine to you is complex and it's a big deal in their life situation that they've got going on, and it instills confidence. And then lastly, I want to tie back to the fourth. And the fourth is actually your mindset behind objections. See, most people want to avoid being that pushy salesperson, and for good reason. You shouldn't be pushing people in objections. You shouldn't be guiding, persuading, convincing, explaining. That's not how you overcome objections. How you overcome objections is coming from, we're on the same team. You've got a problem that you're trying to solve. I'm going to help try to solve it with you. I'm going to come from a place of curiosity. I'm going to ask questions. When you come from a place of curiosity and you use questions to overcome objections, you're no longer convincing, persuading, explaining, and trying to get a prospect to do something. When doing it from that perspective, the prospect is actually answering their own objections. You're just guiding the path and the route to getting there. And so what I see creates the stopgap is we're not willing to go far enough into objection handling because our mind stops us because we think we're being that pushy salesperson. And if you look at sales as a service, not as a burden to the prospect, and you look at every single person you meet with as someone that's got a hard thing going on or trying to prevent a future difficult time for their family, and this is a person that or a family that we can help serve, then wouldn't we want to try to do everything we can to remove the obstacles for them, to help them get started if we feel our firm is the best firm to help serve them and help them navigate this difficult time? If that's the case, then we should want to literally have that consultation in one of two ways. One, we overcame every objection and they got started. They hired us. They retained the firm because we overcame their objections. Or two, we did everything we could to overcome their objections, each and every one of them, all available paths and questions we had at our disposal. We tried to work through it with the prospect, and it ended with either they're just genuinely not going to make a decision right now, and you guys come to a mutual understanding respectfully that it's not going to make sense, or there is just a genuine objection that cannot be overcome for X, Y, or Z reason, but you used all the tools at your disposal, all the questions you could to work to overcome that objection. That should be the only way that these end. And 60 to 80% of those should end in you overcoming all of the objections and getting them to turn into a client. 20 to 40% should end in you gave it all you could and you attempted to try to remove all the obstacles, but it just wasn't going to happen for them during the initial consult this time around, in which case you need to follow up with them. Those are the 4 reasons that law firms are not closing 68% of their consults into paying clients. In the 6 years of doing this, and the hundreds of attorney and non-attorney salespeople, and the tens of thousands of consults that we've helped train up, I have never, ever had anyone do all 4 of those things properly and not close 60 to 80% of their consults into clients, ever. And if that's you, and you are doing all 4 of those properly, and you're executing exactly as you're supposed to, please reach out to me and let me know. But if you're in the position like most firms are, and you're not closing between 60 to 80%, and let me tell you why that's an important number. The primary firms we work with tend to use non-attorney salespeople. And when we compare non-attorney salespeople to attorney salespeople, despite what you may believe, non-attorney salespeople lead the pack for sales results 100% of the time, with the exception of a law firm owner that's still running their own consults that's got a ridiculously high close rate, which happens very rarely in the scope of things. But let's come back to center. And I will tell you from our experience, non-attorney salespeople outperform attorneys in the consult role specifically 100% of the time. And now it's, okay, where do I go to start to do that? That's why this is so important. You can go to non-attorneysalespeople.com. We actually recruit, place, onboard, and train non-attorney salespeople, but it's one of those 4 or a combination of any or all of those 4 things that's not allowing your firm to generate more clients, get a higher conversion rate, and getting to the revenue metrics and eventually the growth that you want as a law firm to be able to get you to the lifestyle you desire as a law firm. Because at the end of the day, that's why we do all of this, right? And so that way you can build a life in a firm that supports your lifestyle rather than undermining it. So if this was helpful, drop a like, comment down below, And if you are in the position where you're looking for a non-attorney salesperson, or you want some help with this, even training your existing sales team, go ahead and go to nonattorneysalespeople.com. Links in the description. We could walk through and try to find a way to come alongside and help you with this.